Bad financial decisions can evoke a storm of emotions, often leaving you overwhelmed and vulnerable. You start to feel regret, shame, anxiety, frustration, and hopelessness. Most people have been exactly where you are. Ultimately, the emotional toll of a bad financial decision can be heavy, but it also offers an opportunity for growth and resilience. Healthy financial habits give you a sense of security, a peace of mind, and countless opportunities. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Financial Goldmine. Today, we are discussing 10 behaviors that will keep you broke forever. If you are working to improve your financial situation, then you already know the basics: increase income and lower expenses, save and invest. This video is not about any of that. We are diving much deeper and getting to the root cause of what exactly got you in this situation. Because if you do not change, guess what will happen? One, you will find it very hard to get out of the situation that you are in. Two, if you manage to get out, you will find yourself right back in that same situation. Three, you will feel hopeless and do nothing and then wonder why you cannot afford a home, why you struggle to make minimum payments, do not have savings, and are not on track for retirement. A shopping addiction is a behavioral addiction described as an excessive and overwhelming desire to make purchases that often lead to negative repercussions. You may hear people turn it into something humorous like, I'm a shopaholic, or I need some retail therapy. This is not clueless, and you do not have a wealthy father like Cher.
Oh, as if.
A shopping addiction may not seem harmful because it is one of the most socially acceptable addictions. We are surrounded by advertising and hauls. Research shows that we see hundreds of ads per day. Everywhere you turn, there is motivation to spend more and more money. What are signs of a shopping addiction? Always thinking of items to purchase, financial problems, inability to pay debt, purchasing things that you don't need, shopping when anxious, stressed, sad, regretting things that you have purchased, opening new credit cards when the balances on existing cards have not been paid. Now, I'm not referring to 0% balance transfers. Number two, lifestyle creep. Well, not that creep. You got a new job or maybe a promotion, and now it's time to celebrate. You go get a new car, a luxury apartment, and the next thing you know, your living expenses have increased, and now that new salary does not seem so great. Lifestyle creep is when your standard of living rises alongside your discretionary income, and now former luxuries have become the new necessities. Do not fall for it. When you get a promotion, a bonus, or a higher salary, this is the time to save and invest. Your lifestyle should remain the same for a while, unless it's a substantial raise. Now, if you go to making a modest salary and now you got money like Kim Kardashian, baby, do you. But seriously, even then, you do not want your standard of living to rise that much to where luxuries are now necessities. It happens little by little and it creeps on you quickly. Stay on guard and stay focused. Be smart with your money and it will pay off in the long run. Number three, doom spending. Stressed out, tired of living paycheck to paycheck, arguing with your spouse about money, and tired of not seeing your savings grow fast enough. If you let negativity related to your financial situation get the best of you, the end result may be doom spending. Doom spending refers to a phenomenon that occurs when people spend money to self soothe and cope with stress, anxiety, and hopelessness despite concerns about the economy and their future. 96% of Americans are concerned about the current state of the economy, and more than 25% of those people use doom spending to deal with the stress. When things are out of control, doom spending creates the illusion that you are in control. In reality, you will spiral and have less control of your future. Sometimes we are faced with what seems to be a quick decision. Should I go to the gym and work out or lay in the bed and watch Netflix? Should I study for my exam or go hang out with my friends? Should I shop online for Black Friday or save for a down payment on my dream home? It may be easier to settle for the option that provides immediate rewards. When it comes to your finances, if you find yourself often choosing immediate rewards often, then you have fallen for present bias. Present bias is the tendency to focus more on the present situation than the future when making decisions. You will find yourself prioritizing financial decisions that offer immediate rewards, but then it can lead to a negative outcome in the long run. The justification for immediate rewards is usually irrational. A down payment for a house, for instance. Recently, someone asked me how people are saving for a down payment for a home. They felt like it was an unattainable goal and laughed and said that they just can't stop shopping. There are many issues to unpack here, but their priority is an immediate reward instead of saving for something that will benefit them in the long run, saving for one of their financial goals. Balance is everything, but if you want to elevate past your present situation, discipline is key. Financial abstraction. This is the phenomenon where currency becomes less concrete and tangible and more abstract. A concrete form of money is cash and coins. Abstract forms of money are debit, credit, electronic transfers, and cryptocurrency, for example. Why is this a problem? It is a problem because with physical cash, your spending is over when you run out of cash. With a credit card, you can continue to spend money that you do not have. According to a Forbes advisor survey through one poll, people are twice as likely to spend more money when using a credit card than cash. 70% of people use card payments more often, and 58% of people stated that card payments are most likely to make them spend the most money when compared to other forms of payments. People are twice as likely to make an impulse purchase when using a card over cash. Now, let's be real. My preference is a credit card due to the protection and points that I receive. Am I switching to cash? Absolutely not, and I don't expect you to either. But I want you to be aware of financial abstraction. Be conscious of how much money you have, how much you are spending, and the effect that your current decisions have on your financial future. Be honest with yourself and think about a time that you bought something, for example, a new car, that dopamine kicks in and you are feeling good on top of the world in the beginning. But after a while, you are used to the new car, the novelty has worn off, that happiness seems to have leveled out, and you no longer experience the same level of excitement that you did when you first purchased it. You may buy new things to give you that initial high, but once it becomes normalized, you buy something else to keep up with the initial high, and the cycle keeps repeating like you are on a treadmill. The hedonic treadmill. Hedonic treadmill is the tendency for you to return to a baseline level of happiness after you experience a positive or negative event. You are on a chase to pursue one pleasure after another. I want you all to recognize that unless you make changes, the surge of happiness that is felt after a positive event or negative event is likely to return to a steady baseline over time. Guess who is aware of this? Marketers, advertisers, people that want that money. And they do everything in their power to make sure that they keep new things, pretty new things, in front of you at all times. To combat this, instead of buying new things, enjoy what you have. Focus on gratitude. And me personally, I participate in activities with people that I love that enrich my life beyond material things. The ostrich effect is a cognitive bias that describes how people tend to avoid negative information or situations even when it could help them. The term comes from the false idea that ostriches bury their heads in the sand to avoid danger. How does this work with your finances? You may avoid checking your bank account after big purchases, avoid logging into your credit card app to review transactions after a fun filled weekend, The ostrich effect prevents you from confronting uncomfortable realities, even when it can hurt you in the long run. I do not want that for any of you. Before making a financial decision, review your finances first and prepare so that once the purchase is made, you can face it head on. Avoidance only makes things worse. Conspicuous consumption. This refers to the act of purchasing expensive goods or services to display wealth and social status. People engage in conspicuous consumption to impress others and signal their financial standing. It is the act of purchasing and displaying expensive goods or services not for their practical use, but to signal wealth, social status, and economic power to others. I already told you all in a different video the people that you are trying to impress do not even like you. They only watch to make sure you haven't bossed up and started doing better than them. Why? Because if they really cared or loved you, it wouldn't even matter. There is nothing wrong with working hard to buy something nice, but if it is to impress others, it is a waste of time and it is a waste of your money. Forget those people, but be aware. Impulse buying is buying a good or service without planning in advance. This one here is eating a lot of y'all up. There is no consideration of its necessity or the financial implications. According to Capital One, the average consumer spends $281.75 per month on impulse buys. Why is this harmful and keeping you broke? I'm glad you asked. Take $281.75 and multiply that times 12. That's $3,381 per year. This amount of money would be a great emergency fund, deposit into an investment account. According to 2025 bank rate in US News and World Report survey, 59% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency expense. But if you can cut back on impulse spending, then you actually can afford that emergency expense. Do not let impulse purchases keep you broke and in a situation where $1,000 causes you a financial hardship. I care about y'all deep, and I do not want $1,000 to be that setback for you. Instant gratification is the psychological desire to satisfy needs, impulses, and wants immediately without any postponement. Why do people prefer immediate gratification? Many reasons. One, the brain is hardwired to seek immediate pleasure from rewards. And if you have been on this channel, you know that it is driven by a surge in the neurochemical dopamine. Two, the tendency to prioritize immediate wins and needs is deeply ingrained in us. Three, because of technology, everything is easily accessible. Four, it offers temporary relief from boredom, stress, and anxiety. Why is instant gratification a problem? Because it promotes poor decision making, leads to financial struggles, unhealthy habits. The satisfaction is usually very short lived, and it supports a dopamine chase to keep seeking that high that instant gratification provides. It is a vicious cycle that will keep you broke if you do not overcome it. All of the habits mentioned in this video will get their own video so that we can dive deeper into each topic. Let me know which one you would like to see first. Breaking bad financial habits is not easy, but staying broke is even harder. Every habit that you keep either builds your future or buries it and pushes your goals further away. Healthy credit and a healthy financial future does not come from luck. It comes from consistency, discipline, and learning to make better choices every single day. Start today, cut one bad habit, build one good habit. Do it over and over until you look back and realize you don't have your old negative financial self anymore. Who's that girl? La 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 la. Or boy. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on more financial education. If you have topic ideas or questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll gladly help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.